Hello, I am going to share my experience with using videos and technology as part of the English class. In general, all my students' feedback for any activity that is related to ICTs is positive. Uh, they like how using interactive tools allows them to expand on practice in English and allows them to integrate all the abilities that they have been working on. It also gives them a chance to use other means as an excuse for learning and further practicing the language. Um, so in regards as to how I use video specifically in the class, well, I use different forms of media to integrate and to also assess different levels of information. It can be an introductory video to introduce information or to hook students' attention on a certain topic, for example, a piece of news, current events, or I can also use it to integrate visual and learning skills towards further understanding of English, for example, a music video or a listening activity. My opinion of the implementation of ICTs, and specifically the use of video in English class, is that as teachers we have a responsibility to learn as much as we can about how communication works nowadays and all the different possibilities that are offered media-wise. I think it's important that we remember that we need to keep up with the times, and we need to provide our students useful excuses to use the language and also to practice and to be curious about further developing their skills. There are many advantages of using like different video clips in the class. First of all, for example, we can use videos to ask students to dub or to perform dubbing on the tapes. So we can have videos, for example, without the sound, and we can have students imagine what's going on and develop like a dialogue, and it can be a lot of fun and very creative. Or we could have them, for example, reenact different scenes of the videos that they're watching. We can also have like short video clips, and we can ask questions about the video clips. And maybe we can even pause videos at a certain point and ask students to foreshadow or anticipate what's going to happen. We can also use videos as the incorporation of strategies towards reading for understanding and reading comprehension. We can ask them to summarize what they have seen, and we can also use them to use different strategies, for example, transitional expressions, or to compare and contrast, and for example, help videos be a foundation for essay writing. So there really is a huge amount of possibilities and different uses for ICTs in the classroom, specifically videos. I find them to be very useful, and my students are grateful to have an excuse to use technology, because at the end of the day, all we do is basically provide excuses, beautiful, useful, novel excuses for them to practice the language.
Hi everybody, this is Fernando Castaneda, sharing my personal opinion about the implementation of ICT, information and communication technologies, and videos, especially in our classes. I personally consider information and communication technologies not only as simple tools, but as part of our contemporary reality. That is to say that somehow we were born at a time when the implementation of such technologies was not in our dreams. I often remember that by the time I finished my high school here in Colombia back in 1989, I had never touched a computer. However, since the 90s, a new generation of citizens were born, and with them, the implementation of ICT on a daily basis, with the clear benefits when talking about learning and teaching processes. Regarding the use of videos, I have seen the contribution they bring to my classes. I especially love working with updated shocking videos as a way to warm up a lesson, so that students feel motivated at least to open their mouths, and no matter how tongue-tied they feel, they can express their emotions and insights about controversial topics. Then I let them listen and watch a main video in an integrated skill way to complement it with scanning skimming workshop that includes referent analysis, answering questions, and finally, students have to write a personal opinion about the topic. These integrated skill lessons have allowed students to broaden their vocabulary, culture, and to some extension, they have improved their oral abilities. Well, I hope that's been helpful. Thanks very much, and best regards for everybody. Bye-bye.
I have to honestly say that at first I found ICTs to be very overwhelming, especially when I first began teaching ESL just over 7 years ago. But as time progressed and technology advanced, along with it, I became more and more aware what ICTs are and how important and useful they can be. An important piece of information to keep in mind when choosing the right ICT to implement in a class is the fact that approximately 65% of the population learns best through their eyes. This includes collecting information by using your eyes, looking at images and reading, observing and studying graphs, illustrations, and charts. As a result of visual learning, students are able to remember details and ideas from what they have seen. Since there are such a large number of visual learners, in my opinion, I feel that one of the best ICTs that I have implemented in the ESL classroom is the use of video. When I use video in my classes, I make sure that my students are exercising as many cognitive skills as possible, such as reading, writing, listening, and speaking in an integral way, so that they feel very motivated. I often use videos to introduce my students to the target language I would like them to learn and practice, so their learning experience is more active and realistic. Video is also an excellent teaching tool because students can practice understanding various accents.